You see that?
La Golondrina.
La Golondrina. That's beautiful.
It is. It
you
is.
know, that would certainly cause you to click romantically with any lady of your choosing.
It certainly would. That was the Spanish word for swallow.
For swallow.
For the swallow, the bird. Certainly in Texas and California, they call hummingbirds chuparosa.
Chuparosa.
The rose
because
sucker.
they go down into the rose. Their tube goes down into the robe.
Chupa. Suck. To suck the rose.
Chuparosa.
Chuparosa. Isn't that nice?
Chuparosa. The hummingbird is the only bird known to man that can fly backwards.
I believe you're right. I believe you're right.
Absolutely. But what I've done, all of this comes as a consequence of my barber, Hugh Gorman, telling us.
Yes.
Now, this is lateral thinking at the extreme edge.
Okay, good.
But I told the people that it was Hugh who cut off my hair and my beard. And,
a Herculean task.
Yes, and he created Resurrection Man here. And I was stopped then, and the day it happened, by an actor friend of mine in Warren Point. He said, "Rowan, what's happened?" I said, No, it's time to, spring is here, the grass is riz. I wonder where the boidies is. Some say the boyd is on the wing, but that's absurd. The wing is on the boyd. And having told him that, he said, No, he said, "King Lear, you were King Lear," he said. "What are you going to do now?" I don't know. But anyway, I'd said on air that Hugh had done the work. And he came back to me, he saw me having a coffee, and he came in, he said, "Rowan, the response has been phenomenal over your hair and beard. People have been saying to him, you did it, you know, all this is going on." And what I've done with the beard, I thank Hugh Gorman for the magnificent job. You really should have charged me twice as much as you did, because the hair and the beard was done together, and you only charge the ordinary amount. But thank you, Hugh Gorman, for the work you have done on restoring me, repatriating face and head, you see.
To your formal, handsome self.
Oh, yes, I love that.
Did he use the clippers first
He
to
did.
get rid of the beard?
He
then
did.
Shaved?
He kind of went zong, 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 zong. That's like an Aboriginal chant.
Like, yes.
But you know what I've done with the... now this is my friend Steve Eccles. He's a physiotherapist at...
Eccles Physiotherapy.
Eccles Physiotherapy. Where?
On the Old Warren Point Road.
Past
Kyo's Cars.
Kyo's Cars.
Nissan dealership.
Nissan dealership. Red ones, blue ones, yellow ones. Every kind of one there.
Mm-hmm.
And down there, just past Kyo's Cars. But it's further on down the road when we come across Claddy Quarry and the wood, the Bluebell Wood.
Right, yes.
The beard, hair, and the head hair, went into the hedgerow, stuffed right into the hedgerow.
Yes.
Awaiting Le Golondrina. Now you got the connection. Le Golondrina, the return of the swallow from southern climes.
Wow.
They will come as they've done every year for the past 10 years that I've had the beard, and they will take the hair and they will use it in their nests.
That's lovely.
It
lovely.
is. It is. It's a good thing, and it's fine to be able to do that. So you were asking me about...
You can see swallows inviting each other to their...
Yeah, come to Hans' house.
Come to
the Hans.
This is a designer hair.
So what am I going to talk to you about? We have to talk serious things, but it's good shooting the breeze as well.
It is indeed.
Yeah. Is it coming towards your swimming time? Have you been to the new pool yet?
I haven't. I'm not even sure if it's open. Is it open yet?
I think it's open now, yeah. No, it's not. Damien Rafferty has the answer.
The shake,
Yeah. I sometimes... I'm a photographer.
Yes.
I love photography.
Yes.
My images are appearing every day, an image of the day, on Destination Yuri's Facebook. And it's no credit to me, but if you take a man who's been taking photographs from the age of 15 and he's now 70 something, and if you take that man and you give him the finest photographic equipment in the world and you put him in a natural theatre of colour and atmosphere like Africa or India, you're going to get images.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
So those images, an image a day, going up on our Facebook site.
Very good.
So I've got a kind of love of photography.
Yes, yeah.
And I saw two things this week that made me go, not good. One was the modern digital fellows And there was a photograph of it in the paper at the weekend, in the Reporter yesterday. The modern digital fellow, he has this penchant for taking the photograph and then looking down to check it. And then taking the next photograph and then looking down, yeah, that's fine. But in the interim, between taking the photograph and looking down to check it, President Kennedy has been shot and he has missed the shot.
Right.
And they don't seem to twig that. Now, when I was doing press photography years ago, we didn't have that facility. We knew it would be 500th of a second at 5.6, and we took the picture.
Yes.
And we didn't have to see. We knew it was going to be okay. The
Yeah.
only thing we had to concern ourselves with was the composition. And
Yes,
that was it.
yeah.
So the other thing I saw of the new pool,
Right.
the official opening of it,
Yes.
Mr. Michael Murphy of Sinn Féin
Right.
is about to push, I think it was Danny Kennedy, into the water. And there's this shot of Kennedy,
Right.
of Danny, letting on he's going to swim,
Yeah.
and he's ready to go, and Mick Murphy's behind him, ready to push him. But the photographer has not framed the water in the picture. So it looks as though a bending Kennedy is about to have his ass felt by a Rostreva Republican. And I said, what in God's name is going on here?
That's even better.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
good story,
You just
isn't
make
it?
your own headlines up
Yeah,
then.
it's just amazing. Yeah, look, that's it. You know, a competition for that crap photograph. You know, give us a headline for this. Give us a strap line for the head. You know, he's looking at us. Say hello to the people. He's going to put that on our Facebook. He's very good. He does this.
That's nice. That's
This
good.
stuff, yeah. Damien wants to be a pilot.
He looks good. He looks good.
Now,
at that, yeah,
you've
doesn't
twigged on it this morning. You heard what he said. When he came in this morning, I said, I wish I could turn the camera around.
Yeah.
Hey, give me your camera and I'll take a photograph of you to be put on Facebook. Give me that. Go on. How do I do it? Set it up for me. No, he's not going to do it.
He's not going to do it. Why?
But I said, you look.
He's looking very
You look
handsome
like
this
a
morning.
young pilot, ready
He
to
does,
go.
yes.
You look like an RAF pilot, which is a very bad thing in Derrybeg. It was like me when I lived in Daisy Hill Gardens. I joined the London Police, but the
Yeah.
Frontier Sentinel gave me a job as a journalist before I could commence my training.
Right,
you know.
right.
But Damien wants to be a pilot, and I was telling him there is a pilot. It's a lifelong ambition, and I was telling him there's a wonderful flying club at Tandragee. Mr. McKernan
Yes.
in
Yeah.
Tandragee. Beautiful, small, light aircraft.
Yes.
Taking off, going, doing
Yes.
its thing. Absolutely wonderful. And I've recommended to Dee that he does that.
There's a guy from JR Lighting whose name escapes me now. The
J.R.
young fella. The young
Lighting.
fella, and he
Yeah.
he has a very light
Yeah?
aircraft, and apparently they cost no more than a car.
Oh, yeah, you can get
You know, they're really so.
So does that mean
So
I
we
would get
should-
one for £500?
No, well, I think we should organise a benefit
Well, why couldn't we
through
do
this-
a crowdfunding for Dee?
to buy him
Yeah.
his own plane.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah,
Crowdfunding. Yeah.
How much did your car cost you?
I
Is
I
that
don't
a
know
personal
that.
question?
Well, it's not a personal question. I'm not sure because I wasn't here when we bought it. I was still in the States.
Yeah. My car cost me £500.
That's lovely. I wish.
27,000 miles on the clock.
Yeah.
Owned by
That's
one
pretty
old
good.
woman.
That's pretty good.
Now owned by a second old woman. and there you are. And it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
And
good.
I was with Mickey Mathers. He did the couple of wee
Yes.
bits and pieces to it to get it ready for MOT.
Yes.
And now I shall be selling it at the end of the month to a chap who's buying it. Which deal is done, because I'm leaving here for a period of time, and I don't want it to be lying in a heap somewhere. I'm going south.
But where you'll not get as good a car again, will you?
Ah, you will. You always will.
Yes.
Peter
okay.
Maxwell, who's coming in to be talked to in the programme shortly,
Yeah.
of the Inland Waterways Association of Ireland,
Yeah.
Peter always went for the car that was around the £500, good
Yes.
value,
Yeah.
carefully owned, and you think of people getting cars at 20,000, you know.
Oh yeah.
And there was a thing on
Yes.
television on BBC 3 last evening,
Yeah.
and it was late in the night. I was watching it in bed, and well, I wasn't really watching it, but it's always subliminally there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But these cars are coming in at 100,000,
I know. It's,
160,000.
I don't know how people would.
How would you do it?
Yeah.
We should talk about bones.
Well, there was a piece in the paper today, the other day, about paracetamol, Panadol.
Yes, it's maybe not what it's all cracked up to
Right,
be.
and they were saying that there's an Australian study, a meta-analysis of a number of studies throughout the world, and they've come up with the decision that it's not as good, it doesn't really do a great deal for back pain or arthritis pain. Knee pain, it says it's sort of a mild help, but not great. So I think that's quite interesting. I think that they do advise that before you switch over your pain medication to something else, that you talk to your doctor or your pharmacist about that. It can also, long-term paracetamol can put a strain on your liver and cause problems there. So I think that that it's something that if you do have liver problems, then you'd probably want to talk to your pharmacist or your doctor about whether you should be continuing to take it. But again, the alternatives for pain relief also have a cost. The anti-inflammatories are rough on your stomach. So if you have a history of stomach ulcers, and we have to talk about these things to patients if we're advising. Also for the anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen, you can't be on blood thinners or anticoagulants, as they're properly known as. Warfarin, you know the ways.
Oh, I do, yeah. Thinning your blood.
So so that's interesting. And then if you step it up to more serious painkillers like the opiates, codeine and things like that, then you have problems with constipation and for long term you could develop a hankering for these things, an addiction for them.
Opiate.
So an opiates, yes. And things like opium, codeine, opium, heroin, morphine, all come from the poppy plant.
Wow, my goodness.
So they're all addictive. So it is a little bit of a minefield, but I think rather than just making your own way through talk about it to your person.
The person who normally comes in here talks about these things. She would know all about these things. Joanne Callan, Lifestyle, Try the Alternative.
Yes.
She would be a devil for that kind of thing and an angel for that kind of thing.
Yes.
She would love it. But I remember one day she was in here with someone, they were doing a talk, and the person had a terrible headache. And a colleague of mine said, well, hold on a minute, I'll go up and get you a painkiller. Sure, it was like asking the Pope to join the Orange Order. they went buck mad about it. And that wasn't, it wasn't good, And there's, I tell you, that's it. But what can you do?
I do think that in some cases, the other thing, in some cases, I think good, strong pain relief for a short period of time can help people get moving again and get over the problem, because often pain is caused by stiffness, and if you don't move, you get stiffer and more painful. So so breaking that vicious cycle of pain and immobility is often a very good thing. But I think long-term use of painkillers is probably not a great solution.
My observation is that if you've got problems with your knees or your ankles or your shoulders or your back, you go to your physiotherapist, and the one I have gone to is Eccles Physiotherapy on the Warren Point Road, and I found you very good, and I thank you for that.
Well, no, my pleasure,
and,
my pleasure.
Just in case anyone out there should think there's any favoritism or any gifts being offered, it was a full professional relationship. You give the service, I paid for the service.
That's
and I can talk, that gives me the freedom to say that this guy is okay. Now the thing being, I think the way forward on it, and correct me if I'm wrong here, if you've got pain, go to your physiotherapist, get the treatment there, but you must not leave it at that. That treatment has to be commensurate with you starting some form of exercise within your range of capability.
Yes.
And it may be something as simple as the walk from Sansa's Mill to the far end of the boardwalk at the canal and back again. Something like that gets you going.
Yes. No, really. I mean, I think some of my return patients will come back and say, I was doing fine, but then I stopped doing the exercises, and then after a number of months, the thing came back again. So doctors are advising that with low back pain, that you should exercise. Now, I have a slight problem with that, but my problem is that, to me, low back pain isn't a diagnosis.
No, it could be many things.
Could be many things. So they don't give advice on chest pain.
No.
Because chest pain is just a symptom, and it could be your heart or your lung, or it could be a rib, or it could be many things. So and all of which would have different treatments. And so with low back pain, I think generally speaking, yes, exercise is in the majority of cases, that's what I do, and that's what helps the patients. But it's a very specific kind of exercise. Some people, for example, if back bending is very painful, and you think, well, I have to exercise, I'll go and do a lot of walking. Walking includes back bending, so you may be irritating yourself. So we have to kind of carefully design the exercise program so that we're not irritating the problem, but addressing it.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. And I think once people reach a certain stage of their lives, you can no longer take, and well dare you take your health for granted.
Yes.
You've got to see that you have a necessity in your life for breathing, for eating, for sleeping, for exercising.
Yes, yeah.
And it's the exercise end of it has got to be taken as seriously as the other three.
Yes.
Eating, breathing, and sleeping.
Yeah.
Now, if you do that, you're in with a chance.
Yes, you are. And I think, and also with the exercising, I know I keep going on about this, but there's a happy medium. So if you don't do any exercise, generally speaking, that's a very poor situation. I think if you do too much exercise, again, that's not a good situation. That's harmful for your joints, and you're more likely to become injured, but it's harmful for your heart.
This has been your mantra.
It has.
For a time.
So find something that you enjoy, be it a little bit of doubles tennis or walking the dogs or something pleasant. I don't want it to be some kind of masochistic endeavor.
And that mantra of yours has been scientifically proven
It's
week.
It's nice that it
Week,
has. Yes.
just this week. Science from Canada tells us that all these fellows who are doing massive amounts of running, in a week, you should not do more than 2 hours jogging in a week.
Yes, yes.
And the scientific survey from Canada shows that if you constantly exceed that 2 hours, then you are doing yourself harm.
Yes.
Now, I've seen some of the most aerobically healthy people. They can suck it in and blow it out like nobody's business.
Yeah.
It's there. Oh, they're great. You know,
Yes.
Pavarotti would have valued lungs like that. They're great that way.
Yes.
But they're bent, broken, hobbling, and they're like old men, and they're still in their 45th year.
Yes.
Maybe 50s. You
Yeah,
know.
no, I get you. And it's bad for your heart, too.
That's the point the science makes. Bad for
Yes.
your heart, because your heart is a muscle. You're doing it harm.
Yes. So moderate exercise cuts your risk of cardiac problems by 2.5 times, but excessive exercise increases the risk by 7 times.
Yeah,
so you're really asking for trouble. So all these people, these kind of super fit guys who've dropped dead, and we're all thinking, what terrible, what bad luck. It may not be bad luck at all.
I wonder what it's like to drop dead.
Well, we'll all find out one day, won't we?
Damien's under instruction. If I drop dead here, the camera's to keep rolling.
Excellent.
You know, it has cameras to keep rolling.
And then you sell it to the big newspapers.
Well, it doesn't matter, just as long as
news
my last
stations,
headline. I'm dying! I'm gone now!
Have you some pithy statement to issue as you're passing away?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes.
good.
I have. It's I can't.
You can't.
There'll be consequences, and I'm still alive, so I can't say it
What
here.
was the?
I told you I was dying. I told you I was sick.
Yes, that was
the good
Spike
one.
Milligan,
That
wasn't
was
it?
the good
There was some British Prime Minister who said, Die? That's the very last thing I'm going to do.
But one of the things that I love that I've done, and I don't mind telling you this because every morning in life I'm a very sick human being, not in the sense of not in a dying sense, but I have to go through the papers every morning.
Twisted.
Well, I am that. You know, cantankerous old git, it would be me. But I go through the papers to find out those in our community have passed away, and I do that.
Right.
I do that every morning.
Do you?
And I broadcast it to the world.
Yeah.
But I have my own, not my obituary, that's
Yes.
for somebody else to deal
Right.
with, but my death notice, the announcement that I have died, is in the hands of my funeral director, Charles Digney, at this time,
Right.
and in the hands of my family at this
Yes.
time. And it's to be published on the occasion of my death. And it simply says, Hand Rowan, content to tell you I died yesterday. Be not sad if such temptation you experience, for know that at the time of writing this, I knew that by the time you read it, I would be happy, gone, and in heaven. Ubi caritas et amor, Deus ibi est. And that would be it. Where charity and love are, there is God. I kind of think it might be all right to die, and because you don't have to get up the next day for work.
You don't.
But I love getting up for work. That's the problem. I want to keep working forever, ever and ever and ever and ever. Le golondrina. La da la dee dee. Da 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 da. There's a song.
I was worried about the swallow's return to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Has anyone out there seen a swallow yet? It's the first note of spring. Now we're going to tell you. We're a competition. Yeah.
Okay.
Special prize for the person who reports accurately and demonstrably that the swallows have returned. From which country do they come? This is the trick question. Do the swallows come from China, Scandinavia, Australia, or North Africa? What do you think?
North Africa, I would imagine.
It's the one, isn't it?
It is.
It's the one.
Well, I think it would be a long haul across from Australia or China.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. But the Spanish have this penchant for trapping these little birds. As they come, they shoot them en route.
Yes.
And it's sport, but I think the Spanish government has outlawed it now. It's no longer happening, you know. Did you like bullfighting?
I've never seen one.
I went to one.
Did you? Did you?
Cheered for the bull and got into awful feckin' trouble. The trouble I got into, because all those around me were Spanish.
Yes.
And they couldn't understand. I said, come on, the bull, come on. Because what they were doing to the bull, at the beginning they bring out the men on the horses. And the horses are all armoured so that the bull can't damage them.
Right.
And these guys on horses are going to the bull and driving spears into the bull, weakening the bull.
Yeah.
And then comes the awful, tessellated and cocky and dressed up fool of a matador who comes along and dances and prances, and then with his cape eventually brings the bull back down. And the bull's looking down at the cape, bleeding to death. And he comes, watch the bravery of me. Puts it right in.
Yes.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's appalling. But they've now stopped it. Death in the afternoon.
Yeah, well, I read that book, Hemingway's book on it. Hemingway sort of suggested that...
He loved it.
He loved it, yes. And I don't think I'd have the stomach for it, to be honest.
No.
But is that a lot better than the way we kill bulls? Because those bulls are killed to be eaten.
They are.
It's not,
They are.
and the Spanish sort of believe that the bull is a mighty fighting animal,
right.
and to show its prowess.
It happened. There was the occasion last year when it happened. What they do that, and one of the specialisms, one of the specialities of the menu in the areas of where the bulls fight are roasted testicles of the bull.
Really?
And
Really,
there are some visitors in, and they went for a special night for dinner, and they had the bull's testicles in a sauce of Rioja and peppermint. Absolutely wonderful. And he was telling his friends back in Ireland, so the fellows went out on a one-ends errand to get these magnificent roasted testicles of the bull.
Yeah.
And they had them, ordered the testicles, and they came in, they were like two little feckin' marbles. No size at all. So he complained. He says, what is this? My friend came here last week. The most magnificent large testicles of the bull, roasted. Now these are roasted to perfection, but look at the size of them. The Spanish fellow says, "Oh, senor, when your friend came, he had them. But these here, at the last fight, the bull won." Where are you from?
From the old Warren Point Road, Eccles Physiotherapy, and you can find me on www.ecclesphysiotherapy.com.
And may your...
Don't say it.
What are they called? What did I say? Bull's testicles. May your testicles always be bulls. Take care. God bless you.
Prairie oysters, they're called in
Prairie
America.
oysters. There you got it all here today. Did you ever hear of the Hangtown Fry?
No.
Oysters up in the north of Canada where they would never have oysters.
Yeah.
When they hit pay dirt, when eventually the gold was there,
Yes.
you celebrate with a Hangtown Fry. Oysters were brought in, and it was essentially an omelette of oysters.
Wow.
The Hangtown Fry.
Beautiful,
There you
beautiful.
are. And it was Hangtown because when people jumped the claim, there was no court or anything else. They just hanged them on the street.
Right.
Lesser educated people than us would say hung them. But
Yes,
they hanged them.
hanged.
You were hanged.
Yes.
There's a fellow in the Republic of Ireland today, he's getting a posthumous pardon. He was hanged for a murder in 1941.
Yes.
But he didn't do it, and they've now discovered it. So it's reported that he's very happy about the whole thing. Go well. Thank you
Right,
very much
thank you.
indeed.
My pleasure.
Steve
Thank
from
you.
Eccles Physiotherapy on the Warren Point Road in Uri. Coming up momentarily, Peter Maxwell of the Inland Waterways Association of Ireland on a week in the life of our canal.